Hello everyone, welcome live to 3Y TV, tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League, the Sim Shots 150 from the Kansas Speedway. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth as always is Bob Giaquinto. And Bob, great to be back here at this mile-and-a-half racetrack, one of the fastest racetracks that we will go to all season long here tonight. One of the newer racetracks as well, coming to the NASCAR schedule back in the 2001 season. But all eyes are on this new iRacing build that we saw deploy last week. It has changed a lot of things here tonight, and I'm really curious to know how it's going to affect here tonight at Kansas.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing how these cars handle with the new iRacing build. And for those of you who are not familiar, iRacing has finally kind of slowly started rolling back in a little bit more grip in the corners. So with a lot of tracks, the main line was kind of the only line around the track. Now iRacing has kind of opened things up and given a little bit more grip around the racetrack, so drivers can drive down the low lane, the middle lane, the high lane. And Peter, you were mentioning before the broadcast, Kansas is one of those tracks where it's high line or no line going around this racetrack.
Yeah, at least after a couple of laps, the high line here at Kansas usually tends to be the place to be. Maybe for a couple of qualifying laps, we'll see them down there on the lower line. But usually you see them running up there where you see the number 9 machine right there on your screen. That is Ben Adams to the outside of a little bit of a new look on Philip Scott's number 99 machine, throwing it back to that Carl Edwards scheme that he had a little bit of a famous finish with here around this racetrack once upon a time back in the day. I believe they were still running the car of tomorrow when that happened, as Philip Scott here going to peel off. He does have the fastest lap time here in the practice session with about 48 seconds left to go. I want to give a huge shout out to the chat here tonight. Thanks for joining us here on 3Y TV. Want to hear you in the chat, making all the good comments. Tana Himmelman saying, let's go Ben Adams and Andrew Himmelman. Andrew finally saved up enough money and ordered his new pedals. So that is really awesome, picking up some of them Fanatec V3s. Very, very cool pedals. I know Andrew will be really excited to have those fresh pedals underneath him at some point here over the next couple of weeks. Ryder Lee Angle saying, let's go Philip Scott. And yeah, for right now, Philip Scott, fastest man in practice by 36 thousandths of a second over Andrew Himmelman, sitting there in the number 6 machine. But, oh man, Tristan Maher there in the number 98 having a little bit of a moment here in practice. But I'll tell you what, Bob, we do have a couple of Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers, so why don't we tell the folks at home who those Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers are going to be tonight?
We do. The first driver that we're going to be talking about is the 7 of Garrett Gleason. Garrett's been having a pretty decent season so far. Not one of the drivers that we see perennially up at the front of the pack, but always a guy who's there at the end, keeps his car clean. And Garrett's definitely a strong contender for tonight's Dash for Cash. The next driver we're going to take a look at is the 39 of Dustin Jones. Jones, again, having a bit of a quiet season, kind of a mid-pack driver, and going to give some more looks for him tonight as well. The final Dash for Cash driver that we have for tonight is the 69 machine of Bobby Trapper, relative newcomer to the Total Nonstop Racing League. He's had some pretty decent runs so far this season, and he will be our third and final Shibby Shack Dash for Cash driver for tonight's broadcast.
Yes, so we'll keep our eyes on those drivers here tonight to see who walks away with that Shibby Shack Dash for Cash money as we're now into the qualifying session. There is the number 7 machine. That is Garrett Gleason, one of those Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers working his way around the racetrack right now. We'll bring up those qualifying times for you on the left-hand side of your screen, so you'll see when they start to trickle in here in just a moment. Of course, Garrett Gleason's paint scheme as he gets wicked loose there in the middle of 1 and 2, a throwback to what Jimmy Spencer used to run back in the day. It looks like Gleason might be bringing it down. No, he's going to stay out there on the racetrack, go for another lap. There is Andrew Himmelman, second fastest in practice, and goes to top of the board right now, 30.783 in the Sim Shots number 6 machine. Of course, it is the Sim Shots 150 here tonight. 150 miles, 100 laps around this joint. We will see who walks away with the checkered flag once it's all done. Ben Izenga, your points leader, currently down around the 9th position. But here comes Himmelman working his way out of turn number 4, coming to the stripe. See if he can pick it up on lap number 2. Will he pick it up on lap number 2? That is the question. And sure enough, does. Picks up about an extra 1/10 of a second. in that number 6 machine. Stays top of the board. Ben Izinga, points leader coming into tonight. Not the pole sitter, but the points leader going to jump up into second, but quickly dethroned by last week's race winner, Spencer Tart.
Yes, Spencer Tart had a fantastic race last week and sporting a new paint scheme for tonight's race. So maybe the new paint scheme will continue some luck that he's been having here out on the racetrack, and hopefully get a good finish with this new look for his car.
Here is Colin Ullery, the number 62 West Virginia Mountaineers Ford Mustang coming onto pit road. New to the Total Nonstop Racing League, of course, not new to 3Wide TV. Runs the National Sim Racing Association series on Thursday nights and Friday nights here on the channel, and that series just wrapped up this past week. The Sim Box Truck Series champion actually is in tonight's race, believe it or not. That would be Mitchell Adams. So we got Ben Adams and Mitchell Adams out there on the racetrack here tonight. We'll see if we can figure out where Mitchell Adams is. He's currently off the racetrack in the number 36 machine. Not all too many drivers out there on the racetrack, but how about James Lorello, number 13 Chevrolet Camaro, working his way through turn number 3 and 4 right now. New father, just had a child and did really, really well the other night in the final National Sim Racing Association Simbox Truck Series event, taking home the checkered flag Friday night here on 3Wide TV. Trying to go back-to-back here on the channel, trying to pick up some extra track time here by turning in some practice laps, but that number 13 is a really good looking hot rod. And folks, if you're watching us here on 3Wide TV, you will also notice that we have another race going on tonight. That's right, the Fast Lane Racing League. They are kicking off here tonight. They start at 8 o'clock Eastern, and I have to say, if you have never checked out the Fast Lane Racing League, there were formerly, a lot of those drivers were formerly in a group that we used to broadcast called Simpossible here on the channel. Go check them out. Fast Lane is a group of disabled drivers. Every driver has a disability, and it would be awesome if you possibly open up a new tab on your browser. Go check them out here for a little bit. Go say hello to the lead producer of 3Wide TV, Carlos Acosta. He'll be bringing you all the action for that particular series all season long, and a really cool group of people. Every driver in that series has a disability, so it really is a home for drivers who have some certain disability to just have a place to race with no judgment, no thoughts, whatever the disability might be. We've had drivers in that league with a wide range of disabilities, and they overcome that to get themselves out there on a racetrack each and every week and go out and have some fun with some friends in the iRacing community. As you watch the number 39 machine, Dustin Jones, going into the grass. Maybe going to do some burnouts for us. We'll have to wait and see. Indeed he does. A little bit of burnouts right there at the end of the qualifying session, but it does look like it will be the number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman who will be picking up the pole. Maybe he doesn't need those new pedals there, Tana.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hopefully he'll be able to improve a little bit with the new pedals, but I mean, there's really not much further he can go with starting here on the pole. That's for darn sure. But he's going to be on the outside of him, the 78 machine of Spencer Tart, last week's winner and last week's pole sitter on row number 1. As we head down here into row number 2, on the inside, the 17 machine of Ben Izinga, and on the outside, the 13 of James Lorello starting in 4th. In row number 3, we'll see the 36 of Mitchell Adams, and on his outside, the 98 of Tristan Maher. And then in row number 4, the 9 of Ben Adams, and on his outside, the 95, a newcomer to the league, Alonso Chicano, starting in 8th. In row number 5, on the inside, the 62 of Colin Ullery, and on his outside, the 77 of David Harvey.
On row number 6 on the inside, that would be the number 97 machine of Mike Floppy Tellier. Jason Freeman will be rolling off for P12. Philip Scott, Lupe Gonzalez make up row number 7, while Cam Caldwell and Bill Edwards make up 15th and 16th on the grid. Row number 9, that's Garrett Gleason on the inside with Bobby Trapper. A couple of your Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers starting from deep in the field here tonight. Row number 10, Paul Bilson and Vincent Valvano there rounding out the top 20 there. Bob.
Now on to row number 11, starting in 21st, the 4 of DeMarco Starks. On his outside, the other Shibby Shack Dash for Cash driver. That's the 39 machine of Dustin Jones. Row number 12, Jason Gracias in the 1 machine starts 23rd, and on his outside, the 22, Stephen Kegman. In row number 13 on the inside, the 40 of Jason Shu, and to the right of him is going to be the number 21 of Johnny Williams.
And that is going to make up the 26 cars because there's no one on row number 14 here tonight. All the drivers getting to their race cars right now. Great to see a couple of new faces in the field here tonight, like Mitchell Adams, Colin Ullery back there in the field. It's kind of cool to see a couple of these drivers kind of double dipping from the American Sim Racing Association that we broadcast here. There's National Sim Racing Association on Friday nights, and now here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, as you see all those cars start to pull off. Cool to see the number 51 machine. That's a really cool looking hot rod right there. Paul Bilson, one of those newcomers here to Total Nonstop Racing League, and you see that Butt Kicker paint scheme. Of course, Butt Kicker jumping on board for next season in the National Sim Racing Association. So that's pretty cool to see that Revolution Motorsports number 51 machine. Very mean looking Flying Tigers-esque front on that race car. Almost like what the A10 Warthogs have on the front. But all eyes are on the number 6 machine up front. The Sim Shots Ford Mustang leading us down to the green flag in the Sim Shots 150 here tonight, Bob. Don't think you could have scripted it any better.
Yeah, absolutely not. The 6 of Andrew Himmelman getting ready to get things going here as the pace car will pull off. And the starter has the green flag in hand. And green flag is out, and we are underway here in the Sim Shots 150. Andrew Himmelman gets a decent jump, but on his outside, the 78 of Spencer Tart able to hold strong as they head down into turn number 1.
Yeah, and now we'll have to be able to find out how strong that inside groove is here on fresh tires. I expect that groove to be very strong when the tires are cold, but we'll see these drivers, I'm sure, drift up closer and closer to that outside wall after a couple laps. Here comes Ben Izenga. He says, you know what, I'm going to try that inside line here early. It worked for Andrew Himmelman right on the start, and Izenga able to hook that low line, and it does look like Izenga is going to lead lap number 1. I think he was able to just squeak to the front over the number 6 machine. Indeed he was. So give lap number 1 to the number 17, but already that outside line trying to hold tough with Himmelman out there right now. That number 6 machine looking so fast in qualifying, and here again up front with that Mustang versus Toyota right at the front of the field.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely fantastic battle here. The 6 of Himmelman on the outside, the 17 of Izinga on the inside. And like you'd mentioned, Peter, that outside line really is starting to take a bit of shape here. So it's going to be interesting to see how long the 17 of Izinga can hang on down low, and the 6 of Himmelman, if he's going to be able to pull away with that higher line. Yeah,
and you watch him here racing down the backstretch off into turn number 3. Himmelman using that high line right above those white stripes. Has Izenga cleared him? Yes, he has. Himmelman, nothing for him. Looks like Izenga going to hold the outright race lead. So your points leader here to the front of the field. Spencer Tart, last week's race winner, going to slot in third. How about the number 95, Alonso Chocano, up there in the 4th position right now, looking really good. Oh, man, the 98, Tristan Maher there kissing the outside wall, and they kind of snake down the backstretch with Lorella. Looks like he might have some damage there in that number 19 machine. I thought I saw some smoke a little bit further back in the pack as they once again work their way out of turn number 4. I absolutely love, oh man, that's the 97 there. Mike Floppy Tellier almost making contact with Jason Freeman, working their way through the tri-oval. Look at them start to fan out now here in these corners here, Bob. This is what you love to see.
Yeah, you love to see that. It just gives the cars a lot more opportunity, these drivers a lot more opportunity to get around the guy in front of them. And just some great racing, side-by-side ability to race through the corners. I'm so glad that iRacing has finally brought back at least a bit of that dynamic track that was taken away a few years ago. But so far, looking so good.
Yeah, there's Johnny Williams, the number 21 machine, the Autism Speaks Chevrolet. I believe he might have already made a pit stop here in that number 21 race car, already on the cusp of falling one lap down, but it looks like Andrew Himmelman has lost another spot to Spencer Tart. Tart went down to the bottom of the racetrack to get past Himmelman. Himmelman really trying to stay steadfast to that high line that we typically see come in pretty early here at the Kansas Speedway, but the only one up there right now in the top 4 is Alonso Chicano in that car. Is just kind of looking up and down. Spencer Tart kind of combining the number 78 and the number 95 already. That doesn't bode well for the rest of the race. We do want to say thank you to everyone watching in the chat here tonight. We got the Windsors rooting on Bill Edwards in his, as always, number 50 machine. Not having the best start so far, but we've seen that multiple times out of Bill Edwards. Has kind of this niche of slowly but surely figuring out a racetrack once he gets out there. And even though he's well down the field right now, just keep your eyes on the number 50 as the race goes on. Let's go a little bit further back in the pack to see if we got some racing. Here's the number 7 and the 77. Looks like David Harvey, the Hisense Toyota Supra. It looks like he has possibly smacked the wall. You see the right side damage on that Supra. He's currently being scored in the 22nd position, so not a great start for that Hisense Toyota.
For sure, and the 77 usually has some pretty decent runs out of the car. Obviously, we have about 90 laps to go, so still plenty of time, plenty of pit stops to try to get that damage worked out, but a little surprising to see him that far back in the pack this early on in the race.
Here we are looking at Colin Ullery in the number 62 machine. Tristan Maher has quite a bit of damage on that number 98 Ford to his outside, and looks like the 62 of Ullery will sneak on by the 98 machine. And here comes one driver who's been very, very fast over the last couple of weeks here in the 3-wide racing league, or not 3-wide racing league, the 3-wide TV. What am I saying? The Total Nonstop Racing League. That is, man, I'm just combining everything today. I'll tell you what, maybe I need some food or something, get something in the back of my head. But Lupe Gonzalez was the car I wanted to focus on, because Gonzalez was very fast at Richmond last week and got a podium in that race car. And I gotta say, already starting to move forward here tonight. Their side-by-side battle, couple teammates back behind him. The 99 starting to catch up to his teammate. Of course, that Carl Edwards throwback. We did have Tana Himmelman saying Carl Edwards was her driver back in the day, and of course, Carl not racing in NASCAR anymore, but Philip Scott sporting that number 99 here tonight. Throwback to the old Office Depot Ford, blasting his way off into turn number 1 as you see Colin Ullery and Mitchell Adams go toe-to-toe in front of that number 99 machine. I was a bit surprised. I saw Adams sliding back a little bit, Bob, but now Adams starting to march his way back up towards the front, being scored in the 9th spot right now.
For sure, and that's one of the things where I would almost expect from Adams just kind of a bit of a feeling out period. Obviously, his first race with the Total Nonstop Racing League, obviously a champion in the Simbox Truck Series for the National Sim Racing Association. So probably just a bit of a feeling out period, but now he says, you know what, it's time for me to get on my horse. Let's get going. Let's pick up some stage points and just kind of get out there and have some fun. And so far, so good.
Yeah, we're keeping our eyes on this battle. There's not much going on up towards the front of the field. Izenga, Tart, and Himmelman still 1, 2, 3 with Lorello and Chicano in tow. But this battle a little bit further back in the pack is really where you want to be if you want to have some good tight racing. Mike Floppy Tellier in the Hello Kitty machine also working his way now up towards the front of the field. So good run so far for the number 97 machine. And Bob, of course, we do have stage breaks here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. Hopefully that's the only yellow flag that we see fly here tonight, as I do believe Jason Gracias is making a move a little bit further back. And the other Sim Shots machine, your reigning series champion in that number 1 Ford Mustang.
Yeah, Peter, I don't want to, give the commentators curse, but so far things are looking fairly calm. I know, obviously, we're still early on in the race. The competition caution will be coming at the start of lap number 26, where the top 5 drivers are going to be getting stage points and season points, which with, the playoffs or the chase rather coming so soon, I mean, those points are going to be key, especially for those drivers who are outside of the playoffs looking in, trying to get that extra boost before the chase begins.
Yeah, we're going back a couple of laps to see what happened to Alonso Chicano in the number 95 machine. Has Mike Floppy Tellier at the number 97 right up behind him. 95 gets up into the wall, and a little bit of contact there with the number 97 machine, it looked like. But Chicano having a little bit of difficulty keeping that car from kind of yo-yoing back and forth on the racetrack. You see his teammate, the number 12 there of Cam Caldwell, very similar paint scheme, basically identical, now getting on by him, as well as Lupe Gonzalez now up into 6th. But so all of a sudden, Chicano really sliding back now into the herd, as you see the 12 and the number 35 go toe-to-toe in turn number 1 and 2. I think Gonzalez going to clear Caldwell coming out of the corner, and wow, I think that was Chicano again getting into a little bit of a tank slapper. We heard that these cars would tighten up, but I haven't really seen that here tonight as Chicano getting, once again, a little bit slideways.
Yeah, definitely starting to get a little heat in the tires. Cars getting a little slidey. Going to get a lot of understeer rather coming out of the corners, and especially turn number 2. That backstretch wall really comes out of nowhere and is going to jump up and bite you if you don't have good enough control of your car. We've already seen that with Chicano. We've seen that with the 97 of Tellier. We've seen that with a few other drivers tonight already. So, that backstretch wall is going to be a big key to just stay off of it as this race goes on.
And you can see riding on board here with Colin O'Leary, it looks like he might have had a little bit of an excursion with the wall as well, because there appears to be some right front damage. So I'll tell you what, a lot of these cars here seeing issues with the outside wall. I'm sure a lot of them trying to get down onto pit road as, whoa, the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias there, almost going 3 wide. He's using that high line to try and pick up a few spots. Now closing in on the number 50 of Edwards, and he was closing in on the outside wall there briefly. Was a little bit concerned there'd be some contact, almost contact there again, as Chicano continues to slide back through the field.
And a big moment just a couple of seconds ago. The 21 of Johnny Williams got a little bit squirrely right in front of Spencer Tart coming down through the front straightaway. Not sure if he caught the front stretch wall at all, but just a little bit of a tight moment there for that 21 machine.
Yeah, there looks to be some right front damage. Now, the good news for Johnny Williams is we will be seeing a caution flag here in just a couple of laps. So would be the MaxGraphics.co Lucky Dog Award winner here in just a little bit, as long as no other cars fall a lap down. But some cars are really struggling here tonight. How about the number 77 of David Harvey with that right front damage currently being scored in 25th. Dustin Jones in that Caterpillar machine. You see that right side damage on that race car as well. How's Garrett Gleason, one of the other Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers? Looks like he's keeping a clean race car for right now. Ben Adams, though, not lucky on that number 9 machine. Oh, contact in front of ball, Bilson, and I spoke too soon, because now all of a sudden Garrett Gleason has a ton of damage. Ben Adams there sliding to a halt. We stay green flag. Caution flag finally comes out. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here on the 3-wide TV replay. You see Ben Edwards here going through the corner. Bilson getting into the outside wall. Adams full head of steam. There's the contact, and Garrett Gleason, man, I just spoke too soon there in that number 7 machine, picking up quite a bit of damage in the Sirius Chevrolet.
Just some seriously bad luck there for that 7 of Garrett Gleason. And it's one of those things, Peter, where I feel like almost every time we say, oh man, Gleason's having a great run, something like this happens. It's not even his fault, and a wreck just kind of happens around him, and it's just a little bit of the broadcaster's curse there for sure.
On board here with the number 9 machine, you see Bilson slide up the racetrack. There's the contact. There's the more contact, and went spinning down on the inside of the racetrack. Now, this will count, I believe, folks, as your stage caution, so we won't have an extra caution for that to come out, so that will give the bonus points to your points leader, Ben Izenga, who's coming down pit road, Spencer Tart, Andrew Himmelman, James Lorello, Mike Tellier also coming down pit road. I believe the 21 of Johnny Williams will be the MaxGraphics.co Lucky Dog Award winner, but Bob, everyone on pit road, it looks like.
Yeah, everyone on pit road, and I'm sure everyone's sitting there screaming about, to their virtual crew chief that they want tires. Just a long 20-some-odd lap stint there, and with the way these cars are all setting up, and just kind of getting tight as the run goes on. You're definitely going to want to get tires because you are really heating up those right side tires as you go through the corner. So some different strategies here, as looks like DeMarco Starks might have beat the field off the pit road there.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what all went down on pit road because we definitely saw some changes in position here. Just looking at pit stop times, Ben Izenga, Mike Floppy Tellier, James Lorello, Spencer Tart, all those drivers, I don't know if they took 2 tires or whether or not they just took fuel only. But Andrew Himmelman all the way down in the 13th position right now is the first car that I'm seeing to take 4 tires on the pit stop. Now, of course, they do have tire limits here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, which sometimes it works out. If you decide to take tires early, sometimes it doesn't. I would say more often it doesn't work out, but the race kind of had a little bit of a green flag feel to it there. I'll tell you what, Bob, before that little bit of contact that we saw, DeMarco Starks in the number 4 machine also coming back down pit road. Not sure if he missed his pit box or what, but gonna grind it to a halt there as you see the number 98 machine, Tristan Maher, hustling to come around the racetrack, and I believe he just stayed on pit road for as long as possible, Bob, to try and fix some of that front end damage, which looks not so good.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of those things that if you get an early caution like this, that's your best bet. Just get as much damage as possible fixed. And, it's one of those things where you're saying, you know what, the odds of having another caution are going to be looking pretty good. If I happen to lose a lap here on pit road now, it'll be easier for me to pick up a lap as the race goes on, as opposed to just kind of toiling around with a damaged car, not running at 100% capacity. So it's a pretty good move there by the 98 machine just to get as much damage as possible taken care of. And if I'm not mistaken, he should be still on the lead lap.
Yeah, let's see if we can dial up Andrew Himmelman in the number 6 machine. I'm curious to know what all went into that 4-tire pit stops. Andrew Himmelman, Peter Short, 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
I'll tell you what, first off, tonight's the SimShots 150, so really cool to see SimShots out here sponsoring tonight's event. But 4-tire pit stop, what's going on?
We need a good points race, so might as well gamble for it. I think if Gems is double stint, it's only going to be for a little while, so try to get the gap here.
All right, well, we're really curious to know how it's all going to shake out here tonight. Pace car lights are off, so started on the pole, now running back there around the 13th position. Andrew, best of luck here for the restart.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, well, if you folks don't know, it is Andrew Himmelman's sponsor, SimShots. Andrew does run it, and he does all of the photos for the Total Nonstop Racing League, which is really cool to see once they are released after the race, usually the day after. Some spectacular photos that he gets of these races here, not only in the Total Nonstop Racing League, but also the National Sim Racing Association, and be fun to see how his strategy works out here tonight, Bob.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that works for him, about a quarter of the way into the race. Still about 70 so laps to go. But just kind of talking of sim shots, right now my desktop background is one of the shots that he got up for us for the exhibition race a few weeks ago, the 4-wide finish. So Andrew does a fantastic job. Definitely check out sim shots on Facebook as the green flag is out, and Ben Izinga will lead them to the line.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that number 17 got a very good jump as they dive off into turn number 1 here. The whole field starting to get scattered out too wide pretty much throughout the pack. Oh, man, up at the front of the field, that was getting a little bit tight there between the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier as they race still side by side going off here into the corner, but it looks like Lorello in the number 13 machine will take the 2nd position for right now. Here comes Cam Caldwell. Spencer Tart there kind of boxed in right now behind the number 97 of Tellier as Caldwell gets underneath him. Back behind them, here comes Philip Scott, the number 99 machine, who, Bob, is notorious for being fast on fresh tires. Maybe he will try saving a little bit here tonight in that 99.
Yeah, definitely. And look who's right behind him. That 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman. The two of them just kind of linking up right now and pushing their way up through the field as they're going 3 wide right now, heading through turns 3 and 4. really tight there on exit, but a great job keeping everything cleaned up. But oh, trouble just behind him. The one of Jason Gracias got a little squirrely into the wall, but looks like we're going to stay green, at least for the most part.
Yeah, we'll make sure everything settles down here, but that is your reigning Thornton Graphix Grand National Series champion. As we'll go back and see, I think Colin Ullery might have got a piece of this as well. Got to give a huge shout out to Thornton Graphix, the series sponsor. Yep, got that wall, bounced off of it, and unfortunately slid down into the side of the number 62 of Ullery. So, oh man, almost got tight there again with the 51 of Paul Bilson. You see Gracias now running all the way down in the 24th position here, folks. Garrett Gleason in the number 7. He's running in 25th. DeMarco Starks, we just got a glimpse of him in the number 4 machine, just now peeling off pit road as a caution flag has come out, and it's Alonso Chicano, the number 95 machine, who has gone around in a heaping smoke out number 95 machine. It's not a place to have a barbecue here. Let's see what happened here coming out of turn number 2, Bob.
Yeah, it looks like he just got tight coming out of 2, caught the wall, saved it, oversaved it, got into the back, the 98 rather, got into the back of him, then, oh, heavy contact on that inside wall, and, well, that'll definitely bring out the caution, but, you know, we've said it all season long, cautions breed caution, so this restart that's going to be coming up, it's going to be pretty important for these leaders.
Yeah, and there's that contact spinning down and kablamo right into the inside safer barrier. That's a very heavy hit for the number 99 machine. Unfortunately, will be the end of his night more than likely, unless he can get it repaired back out there. But I kind of doubt that's going to happen. You're looking at your race leader, however. That is Ben Izenga as we jump back live. Izenga Himmelman is now up to second. We do have takers on pit road, though. Who we got down there? I see the number 20. There is the number 20. That's Jason Freeman coming down. Mike Tellier, also the 12 of Caldwell, 99 of Scott, 62, 98. A couple of these cars further back in the pack probably coming down to fix some of their damage. Maybe not going to take tires here, but drivers like David Harvey, Garrett Gleason, and now, of course, Jason Gracias, your reigning Thornton Graphix Grand National Series champion, all have quite a bit of damage to fix under this particular caution there, Bob.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of damage for some of these cars. We see right now on pit road, the 77 of Dave Harvey had gotten in the wall and is actually missing a bumper cover right now. Garrett Gleason is down there, the 26, just in front of the 77. Colin Ullery, he was involved and got a little bit of the one machine when he had gotten into the wall as well. So a lot of cars there on pit road fixing up some damaged race cars, and we're going to be looking to hopefully get them back out and being competitive out on the racetrack once they go green.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out here as the race goes on, as it is absolutely not letting me change the camera off of David Harvey. I guess it really, really likes David Harvey. But there we go. There's Ben Izenga, your race leader, who now by my calculations is the only driver to really come down pit road and not take any tires up to right now. Well, not sure if that is 100% true or not. I think Lorello might be in the same boat as well, but now we have, again, more strategies out there on the racetrack to keep track of here, Bob. Always making things a little bit difficult for the commentators as, that's not turn 2 exit. There we go. There's the exit of turn number 2 as all those cars work their way here behind the Ford Mustang pace car. Yep, that's right. Ford Mustang pace car here tonight. None of the new iRacing, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the fictitious pace car that we see in some events nowadays, but that, of course, being a new addition to iRacing as of last week. I don't know, I kind of like the old Mustang. It's kind of getting retro at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of the that 2007-ish style of Mustang anyway, so it's good to see it back out there on the track. The new pace car, it's definitely going to take a lot of getting used to. Looks kind of like a Kia meets an Audi meets a Lamborghini SUV. Very interesting looking car, but it's I guess more futuristic, if you will.
That's more modern, but more modern isn't always the best. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on over in the chat here tonight. We got King Crop VOD saying almost 800 yet subs. Yes, we are. We're getting close to 800 subs. We are really looking forward to the 1,000 mark, because I believe at the 1,000 mark, that's about when we'll be able to get custom emotes. If you want to be able to use them, I think we'll be able to possibly do subscribers if you'll want to do that. We'll probably try and make them cheap if you want to decide to get kind of, a subscription to use our cheap emotes, and hopefully we can get a couple of them in. So we'll be really, in a little bit, once we get closer to 1,000, we'll start to take suggestions for what emotes we can add, if you're interested in using them. I'm sure there will be some, a wrecked car, 4X, I don't know. I've been thinking about them, but we're still quite a ways off of 1,000, but definitely getting close. But speaking of getting close, we're getting close to going back green flag, because the green flag is in the flagman's hand and the whole field is hidden behind them, but we're already on the loud pedal. Ben Izenga leads the field here, coming back to green, Bob.
Yeah, fantastic jump there by number 17, Ben Izenga, able to clear the rest of the field by a few car lengths. But now behind him, one of the cars that had taken 4 tires in the last round of pit stops. Look at that number 6 machine. It's Andrew Himmelman. He's got fresh tires and has been a bit faster, slicing and dicing his way through the field. So Himmelman really looking to put the pressure on the 17 machine as they come out of turn number 4.
Yeah, they do. They come out of turn number 4. There is Ben Izenga, your current race leader, but for how much longer? Izenga, folks, has so far led every single lap of this race. I can't believe that, but he has led all 35 of the opening 35 laps. But Andrew Himmelman here trying to change that on the fresher rubber in the SimShots Ford Mustang, just dropping to the inside here, coming down the backstretch, and just like that, the fresher tires do prevail. Izenga going to drop back to second, so your pole sitter here tonight, coming out of turn number 4, Andrew Himmelman, second car to lead a lap here tonight in the SimShots 150 in the SimShots machine. Very fitting to see that as we close in already on the halfway mark. Kind of a short one here tonight, only 150 miles around the 1.5 mile racetrack, and of course this is not a slow racetrack. Let's see if we can go on board with our current race leader, and we'll bring up the information down there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. 170 miles an hour through the apex of turn number 3 and 4, just briefly dropped down to 169. This racetrack, of course, has quite a bit of grip, and getting up towards 190, going off into turn number 1, 187 before getting on the binders to blow it down to the bottom side of the racetrack, which is where we've seen these cars, Bob, kind of early in the run, but they often kind of sneak up towards the top side as the run goes on.
Yeah, definitely. And we've been saying this whole race where this setup here at Kansas, as the laps kind of tick down, the cars will start getting just tighter and tighter and tighter. So look for these guys to kind of migrate up the racetrack. We've mentioned already also that with iRacing's new build out, that there's going to be a lot more grip throughout these corners here as we get a great shot of a 3-wide race. Ooh, man, a little bit of contact possibly there with Lupe Gonzalez in the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. But, as this race goes on, more grip up top. It'll be interesting to see how these cars kind of migrate up the track, if they do, as the run continues.
Jason Freeman, one of those cars who just came down pit road under this last pit stop, just got around the number 17 of Izenga, so slide Izenga back into third. Now remember, Izenga still has 2 sets of tires on pit road tonight, folks. That is the number. They have 2 sets of tires on pit road. So if he gets some cautions, he'll be able to use those sets of fresh tires. But as long as it stays green, he will continue to lose time. And look at Philip Scott, the number 99 machine, just blows around the number 17 of Izenga. 69 of Bobby Trapper down there as well. One of our Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers now inside the top 5 there. Bob, good showing so far for the 69. He's got Mike Tellier back behind him, but Izenga continues to slide back on those older tires. We do know that he came down pit road to take on fuel with most of these other cars, so fuel isn't an issue for Izenga right now, Bob. It's just the tires on that Toyota Supra as he continues to slide back.
Yeah, I'm a little intrigued as to why the 17 didn't take tires. Obviously, it was, fairly early on, and I don't believe he pitted during this most recent cycle of pit stops. So I'm a little intrigued as to why the 17 didn't head down pit road, aside from maybe just wanting to save a set of tires for the end of the race.
Yeah, that's very possible. He he's one of those drivers. He's very smart. He's leading the points. He knows what he's doing in that race car. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But you can see the race lead right now that Andrew Himmelman in this number. Oh my goodness, a 97 machine of Mike Tellier, and he gets clobbered by, I believe, the 98 of Tristan Maher. That was a huge shunt here on the front stretch. Probably one of the hardest shunts that I've seen in a long time, racing with Bobby Trapper there in the 69 machine. What happened here? Just a coming together. Tellier was a little bit off the white line, comes up into the outside wall, absolutely destroys it, and unfortunately also captures the number 98 of Tristan Maher as well. But wow, that is one of the biggest shunts I've seen here on the channel in quite some time. With just the impact, we'll slow this one down. Trapper comes down the racetrack. Tellier is there. I don't think Trapper realized that Tellier was that close, and you can see Tellier try and save that Supra, but just couldn't quite save it. And unfortunately, heavy contact in that outside wall, Bob.
Yeah, hard hit right there, which sends him right across the track. Gets airborne there for a minute, and then here comes the 98 of Tristan Maher, and really just nowhere for him to go. Just clobbers him right there in the back. And man, just a tough break for both of those drivers, two Waffle Motorsports drivers, and man, that was a hard hit.
Yeah, we'll get one more look at this one in full speed. We'll watch Tristan Maher here coming down the front stretch, and kablamo. Luckily for Maher, it just looks like his number 98 machine, although he's missing a front end, looks like he might be able to continue on with all that damage. We'll have to wait and see. He sits in his pit box right now. Now, we did have some drivers come down pit road under this caution flag, including the number 38, the number 38 Vincent Valvano does not come down pit road, but we did have some drivers who did, like the driver who was leading the race. That is the number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman, also Jason Freeman coming down. But then we had some drivers like Spencer Tart elect to use one of his sets of tires. So first time we've seen Spencer Tart use a set of tires. Same thing with Ben Izenga. He put on a fresh set of Goodyear rubber. But then we had other drivers like Andrew Himmelman who just came down and took on fuel under this particular cycle. So now things are going to change up, Bob, because the drivers who were on old tires, now they'll be on fresh tires, and vice versa. So we'll have to keep our eyes here on the field here at the Kansas Speedway to get a great look of a really cool front stretch. I've always liked the front stretch here at Kansas Speedway. I've always liked the grandstand and just how it looks. This is a really cool looking racetrack. One of the few racetracks out there that I would actually really like to go to. Because I think it really puts on a pretty good race. Same thing with Chicagoland. Of course, Chicagoland has been pulled off the NASCAR schedule, and absolutely hate to see that, but that is what has happened in NASCAR. Tana Himmelman saying he's going to feel that in the morning in the number 97 machine. JT saying Silly Goose should have worn his helmet. Chris Darling saying, man, if Tellier had his new custom helmet, that wouldn't have happened. I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of back and forth over that new helmet that I have seen. Ryder Lee Angle saying, Philip Scott, let's go. And Dana Himmelman saying, way to go, Drew. Getting his way to the front. But now we'll see everything kind of cycle on through, because we did have a couple of drivers elect to stay out. Well, we did. They've all since pitted, including the number 38 machine of Vincent Valvano. There is Valvano's Bring a Trailer, number 38 machine. Right there, currently running back there in the well, it says 7th position. That's not actually accurate. That's where he crossed the start-finish line. He's currently being scored in at 16th right now in that race car. But we'll see exactly where he finishes as the race goes on. But right now, your race leader is the number 20. Looks like, not sure what happened to James Sorrell in the number 13 machine, but he got caught on the tail end of the lead lap here, Bob, and looks like he will get one of those laps back, however. like by means of the wave around.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking the wave around. I didn't really see what had happened to him prior, because I feel like during the last restart, he was up there in, battling with the leaders just during that last restart. So I have no idea what happened to the 13, but good to see him get that lap back. But he'll be on slightly older tires than the rest of the field, so that'll be interesting to see him try to slice his way up through the front again.
Absolutely. See, pace car headed off of turn number 2 here. One thing I want to mention here, big shout out, of course, to Thornton Graphix, but also Dunn Raceway Park. And Master Millwright recently jumping on board as a sponsor here of the Total Nonstop Racing League. Master Millwright is making the Big Block Series possible. If you're interested in racing a little bit of dirt, maybe dirt's more your thing, make sure you check out Total Nonstop Racing's Big Block Series, which is coming out here very shortly. The season will be starting, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty darn big field for those races. One of the bigger fields that I have seen actually in dirt, so that is really cool. Pace car heads down pit road. I was half expecting the field to extend the caution flag with a couple of stragglers in the back part of the field, but nonetheless, we're going to go back green flag, and it is the number 20 of Jason Freeman on older tires, currently leading up at the front of the field. Look at Philip Scott, the number 99. They're going to jump up into second in his Carl Edwards-inspired number 99 machine. Lupe Gonzalez now also able to get their way back up into the top 5, but already look at the number 17 machine, Ben Izenga, already slicing and dicing up to the 6th spot. Spencer Tart already up to 5th. Both of those cars are on 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and they're slicing their way up to the front of the field, now behind Andrew Himmelman and Philip Scott, who go battling for second through the tri-oval.
Man, that's one of those things where these fresh tires make it look like they're being shot out of a cannon. What a great run there by both the 17 and the 78, right now being held up just a little bit by the 6 of Andrew Himmelman. But they're now the 17 gets side by side with the 6, and he's just going to be taken off as they head down into turn number 3 right now. The 17 there on the high side, now side by side with the 78 of Spencer Tart. Looks like he's going to get this position in second, but out front, that 20 of Jason Freeman looking to start to try to check out with the rest of the leaders, just kind of battling side by side here.
Yeah, and there was almost contact between the 6 and the 36, almost coming together through turn number 1 and 2. They were able to sort that out. Himmelman continuing his slide on his older tires now in the SimShots Ford Mustang, right in front of Philip Scott, who's also dropped to the 7th position. They were battling a couple laps ago for second. Now they're battling for the 6th position. That's how quick things change here at Kansas Speedway. Scott there dropping to the inside line. Now these drivers going to have to wait for the next opportunity to come down pit road, as we have just seen the cross flags here halfway home here in the SimShots 150 here on 3 Wide TV. See the 78, Spencer Tart, dropping to the bottom side of the racetrack. He will become the new race leader, will be the 5th driver to lead a lap here tonight, as we'll bring up the laps led there. The counter at the top of the screen. Izenga, however, in the number 17 machine, he says, you know what? I want to lead more laps. He's led 35 of them here tonight, and that number 17 machine going to jump up to the front once again. We'll catch a quick replay of that one right here on 3 Wide TV. Drops to the inside of his S2R teammate. And just like that, to the front of the field once again. So make that 36 laps led for that number 17 machine, as Mitchell Adams, your Simbox Truck Series champion, now working his way up into 3rd. Here comes Cam Caldwell, the number 12. He's going to try and get a spot from Jason Freeman. So we said Freeman trying to check out, but unfortunately, he is now checked back to the 5th position behind the number 12 of Cam Caldwell. But looking back from the number 12 machine right now, but you can see from the number 20, it's a little bit of a gap back to the 99, who is there in front of the number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman. We'll check in on them because he's battling with Bill Edwards. First time we've kind of seen the S2R number 50 of Bill Edwards, but like I said, Bob, he has a tendency to figure out these racetracks as the race goes on.
For sure. I feel like we need to give him the nickname the Closer, because he's one of those drivers where as the race goes on, he just, inches his way back up towards the front. And at the end of the race, he's always there in contention. He had a great run last week at Richmond, where it kind of came down to between him and Mike Tellier with fresh tires, who was going to be able to capitalize and get the win. The 78 of Spencer Tart got the win last week after some great battles with green-white checkers. But Bill Edwards always there, and he was there at the end of that race, and I expect to see him at the end of this race challenging for the win as well.
The Andrew Himmelman continuing his slide back the scoring pylon, now battling with David Harvey, who's been making a recovery in the 77 Hisense Toyota. Looks like he got the rear bumper back on that number 77 machine, so that's good news. Not sure where the crew found it, but they must have duct taped it on or something, because he's really starting to pick up some pace. And maybe with this new downforce package, I wonder if that rear bumper actually has quite a bit of effect on both the drag and the downforce of these race cars. So that could be something to keep our eyes on throughout the season. And of course, as iRacing changes things, sometimes you don't always know what changes, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of understanding and watching closely to get a little bit extra realism. And iRacing does a good job every once in a while of kind of throwing that in and catching that out. As you see Stephen Kegman there in the 22 machine. Great to see Kegman out there on the racetrack. He just moved up inside the top 10 in the Angry Orchard 22 Camaro.
Yeah, Kegman had a great run last week. Didn't have that great of a run at Richmond. Was caught a lap down and just kind of toiled towards the back of the pack for most of the race. But great to see Kegman. He was our Daytona winner in the season. Already qualified for the chase. He's putting on a pretty good run tonight.
Absolutely. We do have a question in the chat from Jason Bean asking just how is the number 9 machine of Ben Adams doing? Well, there is Ben Adams currently being scored in the 10th position, now in the 9th position as they run. That is the battle for 9th right there between the number 9 and the 22. Kegman on the bottom, Adams on the top side, and it looks like Kegman going to send it. Almost contact between the butt kicker number 9 and Stephen Kegman. I'll tell you what, Ben Adams in that number 9 machine trying to kick some butt here tonight, but just inside the top 10, but you can see all that damage accrued from earlier in the race. You see James Lorello there slicing his way past the number 6 of Andrew Himmelman as well in the S2R Chevy Camaro. So he's slicing his way back up towards the front because, like you said, Bob, he was racing for the race lead a little while ago and then all of a sudden kind of dropped off the face of the planet, and now trying to claw his way back towards the top 10.
Yeah, and when they went green a few laps ago, James Lorello was one of those drivers who had gotten the wave around. So now he's back up to 11th. He was down in the 21st position when they went green. So great to see the 13 up there slicing his way through the field, and now he's just knocking on the door in the top 10. And
unfortunately, I do need to report that one of your Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers, Bobby Trapper in the 69, has pulled it off the racetrack. So that leaves Garrett Gleason in the number 7 and Dustin Jones. Currently, Dustin Jones in that number 39 machine is currently the highest place of our Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers in the Caterpillar Chevy Camaro here tonight. That number 39 machine running in the 14th spot right now. You compare that with Garrett Gleason, who got all that damage a little while ago, currently running down in 21st, but there is still a long way to go, 40 laps to be exact. That is 60 miles here around the Kansas Speedway. You see Jones there blasting down the backstretch in that race car right now, going off into turn number 3. But there is your race leader. That's Ben Izinga out front, closing in on the most laps led already. I believe locking up the most laps led here tonight. 45 laps led by the NOS Energy Drink Toyota Supra. Your points leader coming into tonight.
Yeah, just pure domination there by the 17 of Ben Izinga. Started, I believe, in row number 2. Was able to cut across the leaders and lead lap 1, and just kind of was looking in the rearview mirror ever since. Just a strong run. Was kind of mired, fell back a little bit during the second run just because he had older tires and everyone else had fresher tires. So, great to see him back out there on front because he's got one heck of a hot rod here at Kansas today.
Whoa, almost contact between the number 13 of Lorello and Ben Adams in the 9 machine. There might have actually been a little bit of a nudge. We'll see if we can go on board here with Ben Adams, and let's see if we can go to the car back behind him. We'll see if we can get... there we go. There's Lorello, but it looks like you don't see any number 9 machine because Lorello's underneath the number 9 machine. Move Lorello now up into the 9th spot right now, back behind Philip Scott there running in 8th. I've been impressed with how that number 99 machine's been running. Not sure if Philip decided to use, or when Philip decided to use a set of tires, but he's definitely fared a lot better than Andrew Himmelman, who right there on the right-hand side of your screen, just out of the picture now, that number 6 car has fallen all the way to 12th spot as they run. But we keep our eyes on Lorello because he's definitely mounting a charge now to the inside of Philip Scott. Oh, the 9 machine back behind him. Ben Adams getting into the outside wall, back into the grass. And he's going to lose a couple of positions in that one. We'll see if he loses another one here to the number 6 machine before dialing up a 3-wide TV replay. Looks like Himmelman is going to make the move on the stepdad and headed down the backstretch now. Himmelman not quite able to clear him. We'll see if we can dial up that instant replay here. See what happened to the number 9 machine. Just hit the apron a little bit through the corner. Wash up the racetrack. That's the outside wall. Double tap it. And down into the grass, and you see Harvey scooting on by around the outside. We'll jump back live because these two are still locked in a battle, but I believe Himmelman just going to clear Adams going off into turn number 1.
Yeah, great save there by the 9 of Ben Adams. And it's especially tough, too, when you get into that wall. Oftentimes we'll see here in iRacing where you have almost a little bit of this wall glue where your car kind of gets stuck up against the wall, and the only way to kind of peel your car off is to, obviously turn the wheel left more, but then it kind of makes it a more drastic left-hand turn, and you cut across the track, get into another car, and a great piece of driving there by the 9 to avoid the 77 who was coming in behind him.
And we're watching the number 22 here of Stephen Kegman close in on the number 20 of Jason Freeman. This will be a battle for the 6th position. You see last time by Kegman just a smidgen faster than Freeman, but over the last couple of laps or so, Kegman has been closing in about a 1/10 of a second per lap. So we'll see whether or not that holds true this next time by. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, things are closing up for the race lead because it is the 78 of Spencer Tart, last week's race winner from Richmond, closing in on Ben Izenga. 33 laps to go.
Yeah, so far a pretty good battle here as the 78 takes a look to the outside. Oh, the lapped car of Garrett Gleason trying to get out of the way. But that's going to open the door for the 78 of Spencer Tart, trying to get a good run on the outside going. Look for the 78 of Tart to try to make this pass coming out of turn number 2, heading down the backstretch, because he'll be on the outside and have a little bit more momentum coming through that corner.
Yeah, just trying to stay on the right rear quarter panel of the 17 of Izenga. He's there. So we'll just have to see whether or not Tart can pull this off as they go off into turn number 3. Still holding strong on the high line is Spencer Tart, but Izenga got a fantastic run down there on the low line. But now Tart's going to undercut him. The over-under move, you love to see it here in iRacing. Now Tart on the inside, Izenga on the high line, rolls a reverse. Can Tart get the race lead? Yes, he can. Dives it off hard into the corner. You see Izenga trying to pull back underneath Tart, but not quite able to do so. So Spencer Tart back to the race lead, though Izenga thinking he might be able to get to the inside line. Says, you know what, not just yet. 31 laps ago. We'll make that 30 this time by. Spencer Tart has only led 1 lap so far here tonight. Make that 2 as he leads across the stripe. 70 laps down, 30 to go, but here comes Izenga once again. These two teammates doing battle at the front of the field.
Man, this is just such a fun battle to watch. The 17 of Ben Izenga goes down below. The 78 now trying to do maybe looking to doing a bit of a crossover move here, as here he comes now down to the inside as they dive down into turn number 3.
Yeah, Tart trying to hook that white line. It seems like there's a lot more grip down there than they used to be. Of course, iRacing this past week and a half or so has tweaked certain racetracks. This was one of those tracks that was notorious for being a highline race. That highline has actually the most banking. This is a slightly progressively banked racetrack. And so that has been the line you want to be in for basically every iRacing race at this racetrack, pretty much up till now. I don't know if it is some of these iRacing track tweaks that they have made that has made the low line so strong, but it seems like that is the case, and that's good news because I'll tell you what, Bob, this racetrack has been really tough to pass at over the years in iRacing because you kind of get stuck up on that high line and you can't go anywhere. you can go down to the bottom side of the racetrack, but there was no grip down there. The only place you could make a pass was on the high line, and if you're on the high line, well, you can't go any higher than the wall. So it has been one of those racetracks that's been notoriously difficult to pass at with the amount of grip on the low line, but it looks like iRacing has fixed that and made the low line very racy as Spencer Tart once again drops to the inside of the 17 of Izenga. We'll see if that low line holds strong again. You see Johnny Williams, one of the lap car, might just be a pick for one of these cars. No, they get back single file. Johnny Williams there in the 21 Autism Speaks Chevrolet, staying out of the way of the race leader as this battle rages on. James Sorello, the number 13 machine, just got around Stephen Kegman for the 6th position. He's now closing in one of the other S2R machines. That's Bill Edwards, who's now stuck his way into the top 5.
Yeah, just a good run there by the 50 machine of Bill Edwards, as well as the 13 of James Lorello. Those two drivers doing a great job, just kind of methodically picking their way up through the field and just making smart moves. As looks like, as we're saying this now, the 50 of Bill Edwards, he might be on pit road.
Yeah, he's on pit road as well as Cam Caldwell, so 26 laps to go. I think these drivers won't be able to make it on fuel, so we might start to see some of your leaders come down pit road as well. In fact, speaking of your race leader, you see Izenga all alone by himself right now because indeed, here comes Spencer Tart in the 78 machine coming down pit road. We presume he's going to come down, get 4 fresh tires. When is Ben Izenga, the number 17, going to come down pit road? Will it be this time? It looks like he's on the gas. You see those flames shooting out the exhaust on the right-hand side as he goes down the gears and gets into different rev bands. And he locks them up. He's in the grass. That's not going to be good for your race leader, Ben Izenga. Did he speed on pit road? All eyes are going to be on the 17 NOS Energy Drink Toyota Supra on whether or not iRacing is going to give him a speeding penalty for that or not. But I'll tell you what, Bob, he at least got into the grass. Sometimes that could be an unsafe pit entry. We will see whether or not this is the case. We'll see the right side of the car get jacked up. Just have to keep our eyes and to add to the mix, caution flag has come out. That's going to change everything here. Wow, this is going to shake things up. We'll have to see whether or not what exactly happened out there on the racetrack. Trying to figure things out here to see if what all went down. I'm not seeing anything just yet out there to see what happened. Still not seeing anything on why this caution flag came out. I'm wondering if just going through all the cameras here, folks, and not seeing anything. I don't know if you're seeing anything here, Bob, but I'm not seeing anything that brought out this caution. This is kind of a strange one. Maybe someone peeling off pit road might have brought out the caution. I'm watching exactly. I'm literally flipping through the entire field to try and see.
It looks like possibly the 51 of Paul Billison on pit road drove through his pit box, probably about 2 or 3 pit boxes, and then put it in reverse and reversed into his box. But I couldn't see that causing a full course caution like we've seen out there. But no, I'm not entirely sure what the yellow could be.
I'm literally looking at the time of caution. When the caution flag flew, the 51 of Bilson was already on pit road when the caution flag was flying. I'm once again flipping through every single. I found it. I have found it. I have finally found it. It was one driver. I mean, sometimes it takes forever, but we figure it out. It was actually Spencer Tart, last week's race winner, comes off pit road, lights up the rear tires, goes off into the grass, and that was it. Spencer Tart bringing out the caution and possibly ending his opportunity at winning the race with all that, believe it or not, because he's going to end up one lap down. Now, here's the fun thing, folks. Back live, we've had some drivers come down pit road, some drivers haven't. But the one driver who is your race leader after all this, that driver right there, that is David Harvey. Just coming off pit road, and your Shibby Shack Dash for Cash driver, the 39, and Dustin Jones to his outside. Now, I do apologize because we've basically missed the entire caution, but we just had to. We had to figure out, we had to do the detective work of figuring out what went on with the caution. So Jason Bean saying stuck on replay. It shouldn't be stuck on replay anymore. We were doing investigation work behind the scenes, so you don't want to see all the rewinding. And maybe one day we'll get kind of a record scratch sound. We'll have like a record going backwards, and we can cue that up while we rewind. But until we have that sound, we'll just leave it alone. But really is shaking up the field, because look at that, folks. David Harvey in the 77 machine, Dustin Jones, Stephen Kegman, Vincent Valvano, Jason Shue, and the 36 of Mitchell Adams are the only 6 cars, Bob, who are currently scored on the lead lap that don't need a wave around here.
Wow. And on top of that, between the wave around cars and the lapped cars, I believe the wave around cars are going to be behind all of the lapped cars as well. So, you know, that's going to be a little bit of an extra cushion for these top 6 or so drivers to get away at least just a little bit here. But taking a look at the in-race chat, David Harvey says, good luck all on the restart because I have old tires. So that'll be another wrinkle on top of all of this. With the 77, is he going to spin his tires when they go back green?
Yep, quite possibly so. Now, Dana Himmelman's asking, I'm confused. Is Drew back on the lead lap? Yes. So Drew just took the wave around, one of a plethora of drivers to take that wave around. So he will be back on the lead lap. But granted, remember, although he'll be on just about the same tires as the other cars that he was racing with, like Spencer Tart, like the number 9 machine, Ben Adams, like the 13 of Lorello, like those cars, he won't have quite as fresh tires as the cars who are right now at the front of the field as David Harvey and Dustin Jones. They're getting a little bit tight with one another through turn number 1 and 2. So even though, you know, he's back on the lead lap, he won't have as fresh tires as some of these cars who pitted under the caution flag. But we'll just have to see how it all shakes out. Stephen Kegman in the number 22 machine. Is he looking pretty for win number 2 of the season? Green flag back in the air here at the Kansas Speedway. Look at Garrett Gleason back there in the number 7 machine. He's just going to lay over, let all these cars go by. But Harvey on those old tires leads us back to the green flag here at Kansas Speedway. 39 machine of Dustin Jones right behind him. And here comes Kegman, the number 22 on the fresh rubber, already getting underneath him. Is he going to think about 3 wide here going off into turn number 3? He backs out of it.
Tight racing here. It looks like the yellow is flown out yet again. And I believe the 35 of Lupe Gonzalez might have gotten a piece of the wall.
Yeah, we'll go back and catch a replay of this. Look at them 3 wide in front of that number 35 machine. Oh, it's a 21 of Freeman. Oh, Ben Adams involved as well. And Gonzalez going around. We'll see exactly what happened there, but it looked like the 21 machine just caught the outside wall going off. Coming out of turn number 2, we'll see this all shake down. Watch that white machine right there catches the wall, spins down the racetrack, and unfortunately for the number 9 machine, wrong place, wrong time. As, was almost able to keep it off the inside safer barrier there. We'll see if we can catch a ride on board with that number 9 machine right here on the replay. But a tough break here for Ben Adams.
Yeah, tough break here as we see the 21 of Johnny Williams just gets in the outside wall and just bounced off of it. The 9 was wrong place, wrong time. Same with the 35. And, just a little love tap to that inside retaining wall.
So that puts us back under caution here at Kansas Speedway. 18 laps to go. I believe we'll make that now just 17 laps to go up at the front of the field. Writer Lee Engel saying in that moment he became a Beyblade. Yeah, getting spun around there. Dana Himmelman saying Ben was proud of his paint scheme. Yeah, really good looking number 6 machine here tonight. Of course, it is the SimShots 150 if you're just now joining us, Jason. SimShots, of course, Andrew Himmelman's job, if you will. Earning him a little bit extra cash in that Ford Mustang right there. Really good looking hot rod. Trying to see who is the lucky dog. I think we got a quick glimpse of the lucky dog. It is Garrett Gleason. So Garrett will be back on the lead lap, I do believe. So that'll put us at 21 cars, believe it or not, Bob, on the lead lap here for the final probably 14 lap shootout. And I'm starting to like Kegman's chances.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kegman is right there, and he's had a fairly decent season. Obviously, he kicked off the season here for the Total Nonstop Racing Grand National Series. Kicked it off with the win at Daytona. And, hey, you know what? Anything can happen. And right now, that 22 machine, he's looking pretty good here with I'd say, like you said, a 14, 15 lap shootout. So, you know, the 22, you can't count him out. That's for sure.
Yeah, in fact, let's see if I can dial up the number 22 of Stephen Kegman here while we're still under the yellow flag. Stephen Kegman, Peter Short, 3-wide TV booth. Get a copy.
Yeah, I see you're loud and clear, Peter.
Well, I'll tell you what, that number 22 Angry Orchard machine, I think it's the first car on fresh tires here. You got the 39 and the 77 right in front of you here. You thought maybe about 3 wide, but we're starting to like your chances up here in the booth. What are your thoughts?
I'm just hoping to get an okay finish. I know I'm not fast. I'm only up here because of strategy. So whatever I can get, I'll be happy with. I know 39's on old tires, 77's a little bit of engine damage, so I should at least be able to get away from those guys and see what happens.
Well, what are you hoping to see over these closing laps? Are you hoping to see kind of more cautions? Because you got some fast hot rods behind you like Lorello and Izenga. And of course, Himmelman, Spencer Tart's back there as well, or are you hoping this thing goes caution-free?
I'm in over my head up here, so I hope for lots of yellows and just let the laps tick down.
Well, Steven, already a winner this season, picking up the first race back at Daytona. Maybe looking for win number 2 here tonight at Kansas Speedway in the Sim Shots 150. Best of luck here, Steven.
Yep, thank you.
All right, well, we'll let Tim get back to his troop here in the Race Day voice chat here on the Discord. In Total Nonstop Racing League. But interesting to hear that, Bob. You don't hear that from a lot of drivers saying, you know what, I kind of want to see a lot of cautions here in the closing laps.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but you know what? If I'm the 22, I kind of don't blame him. You know, you have a lot of really fast cars breathing down your neck, like you had mentioned, the 13 of James Lorello, the 17 of Ben Izinga, 78 of Spencer Tart, those guys coming up. The more we stay under caution, the less and less time that those guys have to kind of dice their way through the field after getting mired back right now. I mean, Ben Izinga's now down in the 15th place, Lorello up to 6th, the 78 of Spencer Tart is down in 13th, so still a lot of cars that those guys have to pass. And if I'm the 22, I'm kind of liking my chances if we see another caution or two.
And can't rule out Mitchell Adams. We know he's fast each and every week here on 3-wide TV in the number 36 machine because he, of course, is the Simbox Truck Series champion for the National Sim Racing Association. Pace car heads down pit road. And David Harvey, the Hisense Toyota Supra, gets on the loud pedal, and we're back. Green flag here at Kansas Speedway. Vincent Falvano holding up that outside line just a little bit. Lorello's going to drop down to the low line to cut off that number 36 machine as they go off into the corner. Side-by-side battle now between Kegman and Dustin Jones. Kegman here trying to walk away with the second spot coming out of the corner. Valvano into the outside wall in the number 38 machine. The field scatters back behind him, but we sort things out. I think we're 3 wide back there. We're almost 4 wide back there. Bill Edwards there in the number 50 on the low line. Spencer Tart, the 78 machine, slicing his way up, trying to pick up as many spots, already up inside the top 10, but up at the front of the field. We're almost 4 wide at the front of the field. Stephen Kegman, the 22, to the race lead.
Stephen Kegman with a great move going underneath the 39 machine of Dustin Jones. But further back, wow, what a great move by the 50 to stay off of the other cars as they are 3 and 4 wide. But, oh man, some fantastic racing, and this is desperation time right now. 12 laps to go when they get to the line. Anyone's race, fresh tires out front. this is going to be a barn burner as these laps tick down.
The Mason-Dixon cornhole, number 20 of Jason Freeman, up to the front of the field, able to wiggle his way on past Stephen Kegman. Look at the battle back behind them. Wow, Mitchell Adams almost making contact with the outside wall. We're almost 3 wide for second. Look at Cam Caldwell, the number 12 machine, starting to stick his nose in back behind the number 13 of Lorello, as Lorello's going to be able to clear the 22 of Kegman coming out of the corner. Looks like that 22 got a little bit of a wiggle. Look at Dustin Jones. Can't count out that number 39 machine, one of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers. And look at the Izenga, the 17 machine back there. He's trying to get around this gaggle, as Spencer Tart is as well. They're 3 wide down the backstretch. Can you believe this, Bob?
Just fantastic racing here at Kansas Speedway as the laps tick down 3 by 3 here, coming through turn number 3. He's got the 22 of Stephen Kegman on the outside. Oh, trouble! Kegman gets in the 39 of Jones, and they're still bouncing into each other. Oh, the 36 of Mitchell Adams is in there. 99 of Philip Scott gets involved. Oh, man. Can you believe it?
Man, 3 wide here only works for so long. That is what I have to say. On board here with the number 99 machine, you see that contact, and just all of a sudden there you see the number 1 machine. Ouch! 99 into the side of the 36. It all unravels just like that. But let's see if we can figure out what happened to our Shibby Shack Dash for Cash driver. And there was this, I think Kegman might have come down the racetrack just a little bit, and wow, the 39 of Jones actually got away all right until right there at the end, getting caught up by a spinning number 1 machine, and the AC Delco number 40 as well coming through. That is Jason Shu. Let's see if we can go back and figure out what happened to Shu here. Let's go on board. You see the initial contact, car spinning up ahead, trying to slow up here. You see cars just ping-ponging through the smoke, and really could have been a lot worse, as Jason Shu could not see anything in that AC Delco number 40 car. But wow, that is a tough break. We were just talking to Stephen Kegman. Definitely not the night that he wanted to see here. But let's roll the tape here in slow motion. You see Kegman, he actually might have got a little bit of a love tap there from behind from Mitchell Adams. We'll see. I'll go back and see if that actually might have been true. That might have been what caused it, but man, it was on from there.
Yeah, it looks like now the 22 and the 39 just side by side, which sends the 39 down the track, the 22 back into the wall. Then the 36 there already wrecked gets into him, and oh man, the 1 just barely getting tapped, who then slides in the back of the 39. And I believe the 40 of Shu is going to be coming into view right about here. He's going to slide down in, and oh man, just barely nips the right corner of Jason Gracias.
Let's see if we can dial up one more replay and see what all happened here between some of these drivers. Now, I don't know what iRacing has done. It has really, I have to do all the rewinding again, so bear with me here as we keep the replay screen up just for a brief moment. Now, what I wanted to see is, let's see if we can go on board with driver of the number 36 machine and see if there was contact here coming out of the corner that might have led to this contact. So we're going to slow it down once again here. This is on board the front bumper, and I think that nudge right there is what unleashed that accident. That is Mitchell Adams getting into the back of the number 22 machine. I thought Kegman just got loose, but I think he got just a little bit of help there, Bob, from the front bumper of Adams's number 36. It was tight there coming off the corner. Hard racing here in the closing laps, and we've all seen the rest from there. A lot of beaten up, banged up race cars, but for right now, up at the front of the field, the pace car lights are still on, so we're probably going to have a 5-lap shootout here at Kansas Speedway. Jason Freeman leading James Lorello. Cam Caldwell, Spencer Tart, Ben Izenga has creeped his way back up into the top 5. What a climb it has been for the number 17 machine there under that last green flag run. Himmelman 6. But folks, it's not done yet here on 3 Wide TV. It's going to be a fun finish here on the channel. We want to welcome each and every one of you for joining us here tonight. If you haven't already hit the like button or the subscribe button here on 3YTV, make sure you hit those buttons at one point here tonight. We have 5 likes. Let's see if we can get 10. I would love to see if we can hit 10 likes before the end of the race. And folks, if you haven't already liked 3YTV on Facebook, make sure you like that as well. Share those links from the 3YTV Facebook page. We really do appreciate that. It gives exposure not only for the channel, but you know, if you're one of these drivers in here, you might as well share the link. Let your friends know what you do. Have a little bit of fun, and we've already hit 10 likes. We really do appreciate each and every one of you here on the channel. But we have what looks to be a 5-lap shootout coming up here, Bob.
Yeah, and this is going to be an exciting one. We've got some fantastic wheelmen right there in this top 10. Jason Freeman was able to power his way up through the field. The 13 of James Lorello, another one of those drivers where was up towards the front almost all race long. Had an issue about midway through the race, was one of the wave around drivers. Now he's up here on the front row, starting here in second. Cam Caldwell has had a very quiet race, but a consistent race right now in third. But then behind him, the 78 of Spencer Tart, 17 of Ben Izinga, 6 of Andrew Himmelman. Those 3 have really been up front for the majority of this race. So I'm really interested to see, you know, in these 5 laps, what is going to be happening right here. And look who's there in the on the outside row. That 50 of Bill Edwards, like we said, another driver who slowly, quietly gets better as the race goes on. So it's going to be an interesting 5-lap shootout right here.
James Lorello looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit. That number 13 shot up to the high side there on the restart. That outside line did not get going. Here comes Spencer Tart, the number 78 machine. He's going to dive to the inside of Lorello as Izenga and Himmelman are toe-to-toe through turn number 1 and 2. 5 laps to go here at Kansas, just 7.5 miles as they race down the back stretch at almost 185 miles an hour going off into turn number 3. Still Tart and Lorello, neither of those drivers trying to back down here. Izenga clipped the apron there on entry into turn number 3. He's able to hold on to it though. Lorello, he's going to drop back to 4th here as Spencer Tart now up into the 3rd position. But for right now, up at the front of the field, it is the 20 of Jason Freeman, Cam Caldwell back there. Look at Bill Edwards there in the number 50 running the outside line here as these laps click away. 4 laps to go now.
Yeah, 4 laps to go now. Jason Freeman leading the field and having a very strong and consistent run. But here comes the 78 of Spencer Tart. He took a quick peek to the inside of the 12 of Cam Caldwell. But with now 3 laps to go, the laps are climbing down. And right now, if I'm in 3rd on back, you're going to have to be pushing hard to try to get up front there.
Yeah, and oh man, the 78 of Spencer Tart washed way up the racetrack. Here comes Lorello. Not sure if that was due to aerodynamics or if he clipped the apron or something. But wow, Ben Izenga all the way down on the apron, all the way up into the outside wall, almost into the outside wall. That was huge there for Izenga. They had that huge stack up when the 78 machine washed up the racetrack, and Izenga was all the way down on the bottom side of the racetrack, all the way down on the apron. That was a huge moment. He's going to drop now all the way down to the 7th position, so not looking to be where your points leader wanted to end the night, all the way down there in 7th, but here comes Spencer Tart trying to get that 3rd position on back. This is a side-by-side battle as Jason Freeman just about 1 lap away from picking up another win here in the Total Nonstop Racing League.
Rolling out of turn number 4, white flag in the air. Jason Freeman crosses the line, 1 lap to go now. And Cam Caldwell right on his back bumper, but Jason Freeman looking strong here as they dive off into the first corner.
Jason Freeman holds on to just about 0.2 of a second lead in the Mason-Dixon Cornhole Chevrolet down the backstretch into turn number 3 for the final time. Cam Caldwell trying to launch an assault in his Chevy Camaro. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Coming out of turn number 4, Mason-Dixon Cornhole back to victory lane with Jason Freeman here in the Total Nonstop Racing Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. What a run to the checkered flag. Jason Freeman led 19 laps here tonight at Kansas, taking home the checkered flag. What a great and exciting finish right here on 3YTV, folks.
Wow, what a fantastic finish there. Great win there by the 20 of Jason Freeman, but getting close and, oh man, just a little bit of heartbreak there if you're the 78 or the 17, just kind of domination throughout most of this race. But, great run there by Freeman, able to capitalize when it counted. And Jason Freeman going to burn it down here on the infield grass.
And that is what it looks like to win here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. Jason Freeman burning it down in the infield grass right here on the front stretch. That is one good-looking hot rod. Getting the job done here on the channel. We got Mike Floppy Tellier in the chat rooting him on. Tana Himmelman saying, way to go, Freeman. Dirt Dogger 93 saying, attaboy. That was one good race. Definitely one that you're going to want to watch here on the channel, here on replay. If you didn't catch all of it here tonight, make sure you rewind and watch it from the beginning, because this race, Bob, had quite a few twists and turns.
Yeah, lots of twists and turns, a lot of different strategies, but really the big key moment of the race is when the 78 went around coming out of pit road, really kind of split the field in half, if you will, which really led to some fantastic racing here as the laps wound down. And man, just another fantastic race here at the Total Nonstop Racing League.
That is for sure. Folks, we're going to step away for just a brief moment here on 3Y TV. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get some interviews with your top 3 finishers. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back to the Kansas Speedway, where tonight's race has come to its conclusion. We'll see if we can dial up tonight's third-place finisher, Spencer Tart, in the number 78 machine, finishing a couple of positions below where you did last week, Spencer. Of course, getting that win at Richmond last week here on 3Y TV. But here tonight, wow, what a topsy-turvy race, and what a march up through the field right there at the end. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I feel like I had the fastest car the whole race and was just kind of saving my stuff and just trying to be there at the end. And I feel like I had it there at the end. Got blocked with a couple laps to go. Decided not to wreck them, and that's, I guess, finished third. Still pretty good day, but you want the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially having such a strong car here tonight. You only led 2 laps, believe it or not. I felt like you led more than just 2 laps, but you and Izenga combined to lead 60 of the 100 here tonight here at Kansas. But one thing that was kind of shocking to me here tonight was the fact that the high line wasn't the dominant line. Usually the high line here at Kansas is the line to be possibly some of those iRacing track tweaks that we're starting to see out there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to the top running well here, but I messed around in practice and realized that the car was hooking on the bottom, and it was just faster, saved a lot more tire on the bottom. I mean, you could run the top and probably be just as fast, but you're going to tear their tires up real quick. So I decided to keep it on the bottom pretty much the entire race. And I was kind of hoping for it to go green flag. I feel like I definitely had the fastest car in the long run. I was letting Ben just kind of run in front of me. But, Ben had a quick car too, and we're teammates, so no point in wrecking him for the lead or doing anything crazy. So I was just kind of riding and waiting there for that last pit stop. And then caution came out and kind of hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely kind of a, topsy-turvy race, all things considered, with different strategies playing out. And, that caution coming out at a very inopportune time for you. I think you were probably trying to get a little bit too much getting off pit road.
Yeah, trying to get off pit road. And as soon as I got on the gas, it just kind of poked around. I don't know exactly what happened. It drove it off the same way I always do, but I don't know. I don't know. Ran out of talent, I guess.
Sometimes iRacing will do that to you, but nonetheless, what a charge up to the third position right there in the closing laps. It was fun to see you guys 3 wide all the way in that penultimate restart. It was really, really cool. But I'll tell you what, Spencer, definitely putting on a show for the fans here on the channel here tonight. You got some shout-outs?
Yeah, man, I got to thank everybody that helps me out. Fatal Concept Designs, they do a great work on my paint schemes. I don't know if it showed up on the broadcast or not tonight or not. I got to thank Palmetto Homeland Security, Anthony's Lock Service, Tony Gator Hater, Callaway's Bar and Grill, Muley Fanatic Foundation, everybody that helps out on the car. Means a lot to me. Thank you, everybody, for helping me out.
Absolutely. Well, Spencer, congratulations on your third place finish. We'll see you again next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for our third place finisher. We'll see if we can dial up our second place finisher. And I believe that Bob Giaquinto is caught up with Cam Caldwell.
And Cam Caldwell, Bob Giaquinto up here in the 3-eyed TV booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, Cam. Well, congratulations. A second place finish. Definitely a tough race out there. How did these different changes with iRacing help you get around the track with the more grip in the corners, multiple lines, things like that? Because man, you were really flying there at the end of that race.
Yeah, it was definitely weird running the bottom here because before the update, it was always just rim right around the top. So that was definitely a change, and I don't know, it was weird. I like running the top here, and it just wasn't really as good as the bottom was, especially towards the end. But yeah, racing Jason there at the end, that was a lot of fun. I thought I was going to get him, but just needed a little bit more at the end, maybe one more lap or so. But all in all, it was a good race for me. Glad to finish one of these finally.
Yeah, had a fantastic race there and a great battle with about 5 laps or so to go between you and Jason. I saw you kind of trying to dive it in there in the last corner, just trying to get something to stick. Unfortunately, obviously didn't work, but a great race, and great to have you back out there on the racetrack. It's been, I believe, since Homestead that you've been out there on the track here with the Total Nonstop Racing League. So first of all, welcome back to racing here with us, and looking forward next week now. Pocono coming up on the calendar. What are your thoughts on going to Pocono next week?
I haven't really raced Pocono with these cars before, I don't think. So it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I've enjoyed racing Pocono in the past. So I'll probably be looking forward to it. We'll see. Just depends on how I feel with these cars.
Fair enough. And Cam, before we let you go, do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to shout out Adam Kuhn, who is co-owner of Radius Racing, and my teammate tonight, Alonzo. And Jason Freeman, who is also on Radius, but maybe not in this league. I told him after the race that if he wasn't on my team, that I was going to send him into the corner. So, yeah, and all our sponsors, partners, all that fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, Cam, congratulations on the second place finish, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there on the track at Pocono next week.
Thanks.
All right, well, that's going to do it here for tonight's second place interview with Cam Caldwell. But it's time to catch up with one of the Jasons from the Jason and Jason show, and that is Jason Freeman picking up the win here tonight at Kansas Speedway. And Jason, you probably weren't expecting to end up in victory lane here tonight. Started down in 12th. You kind of were a beneficiary of the topsy-turvy race, but hey, I'll tell you what, you're in victory lane. Tell us about it.
Yeah, coming into this race, well, I knew there was 3 races to go before the chase, and I was kind of sitting there on the bubble to make the chase, and I thought if I had an opportunity, tonight would be my best opportunity, but this is the first time I got back on here since the new build, and I struggled there. I mean, I was a mid-pack car, and so I tried to do something a little off sequence and get off strategy there, and I thought that caution was really gonna bite me, but worked out a little bit and was able to get another caution in there, which I think helped, because if we would have had a longer run, those guys would have got me with their tires were a little bit better than mine.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a really impressive stand that you made up at the front of the field. What was kind of going through your mind when you made that pass for the lead, getting around Steven Kegman with, about 12 or so laps to go? Were you hoping to see more cautions? Did you want it to play out and stay green? Or, what was going through your mind?
I think that caution helped me because it kind of split that last little 10 or 15 lap run up, whatever it was. So if it would have stayed green, like I said, I had pitted and already came out and had about 6 or 7 laps on my tires. Those other guys were going to have fresher tires. So if it would have stayed green, I'm pretty certain they would have got to me.
Well, nonetheless, it all worked out for you. And of course, there was a couple of drivers playing defense for you as well, throwing some blocks to try and hold on to those spots. And really, really impressive to have the Mason-Dixon cornhole number 20 back in victory lane. I do have some additional questions, though. First one, Kansas Speedway usually is a highline fest, a little bit of a low line. What are your thoughts about some of these iRacing tweaks that they're making?
Yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've been on here since they've changed some of this, but I don't know. The high line was kind of, everyone was follow leader with that, but it almost seemed like this, though. It's like, it's hard to get by anyone. I mean, the different lanes all carry about the same momentum, it seems like. So I didn't qualify well, and I was just stuck in the middle of the pack, and I lost some spots on the start. Then I started gaining some spots back and just couldn't go anywhere, which I think could have helped out there at the end of the race too, because like I said, there was some faster guys back there, probably around 4th and 5th spot than I was, and they just couldn't go anywhere on the restart, and I had the clean air. So I don't know. I mean, it's good they're working on things, make some multi-group racing.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying it. We'll see how it all works out. They'll continue to make tweaks. It's their first foray into fixing some racetracks. Like you said, it used to be a little bit of a single file fest up there on the high line, and now maybe it's a single file fest on the low line. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all works out here. Second question, Pocono next week. Tricky Triangle. Thoughts of Pocono?
Home track, terrible there.
Well, there you go. That sums it up, short and sweet. But before we let you go, Jason, congratulations on the win. Any shout-outs?
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank, Garrett and them for putting on the Tono Nonstop League. It's a lot of fun. You guys for doing the broadcast. Check out Mason-Dixon Cornhole on Facebook. Also, check out and give a like, share, and a follow to the Mason-Dixon Racing Esports page. Got to give a shout out to Gracias, my teammate there. So, yeah, all in all, good night.
All right. Well, Jason, congratulations and good luck at Pocono.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, that's going to do it here for tonight's race winner at the Kansas Speedway in the Sim Shots 150, Jason Freeman. And Bob, I do believe we have a winner of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash.
We do. The winner of this week's Shibby Shack Dash for Cash is none other than the 7 machine of Garrett Gleason. Well, we saw him get into a bit of an accident as we're saying. He was having a great run earlier in the race. But he was able to battle back, and that big mix-up there with about 10 or 12 laps to go between the 22 of Kegman and 39 of Dustin Jones really opened the door for him. Garrett Gleason, the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash winner for tonight's race.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool to see Garrett walk away with that extra $10. Jason Freeman, though, walking away with the race win. Cam Caldwell coming home in second. Spencer Tart slicing his way up to third right there at the end. James Zorello, Andrew Himmelman rounding out your top 5. Of course, Himmelman started the race on the pole. Bill Edwards, Ben Izenga, 6th and 7th. DeMarco Starks, Lupe Gonzalez, and Colin O'Leary, league newcomer there, rounding out your top 10. Bob.
And finishing off in 11th, the 51 machine, another newcomer, Paul Billison, finishes in 11th. David Harvey, 12th. Vincent Valdano, 13th. Garrett Gleason, our Shibby Shack Dash for Cash winner, finishes up in 14th. The 9 of Ben Adams, one of the newer newcomers here to the Total Nonstop Racing League, in 15th. Mitchell Adams, again, newcomer to TNR, in 17th. Jason Gracias in 17th, rather. Dustin Jones, 18th. Stephen Kegman, 19th. And Johnny Williams rounding out the top 20.
Finishing in the 21st position, Jason Shue in the number 40 machine, just barely avoided an accident and further damage on that car. Philip Scott finishing 8 laps down. Bobby Trapper, who was one of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers, finishing down there in 23rd, unfortunately. Tristan Maher, Mike Floppy Tellier, and Alonso Chicano, all those drivers did not finish here tonight out of the 26 starters that we had here at the Kansas Speedway. But folks, you'll want to join us next week for the Tricky Triangle up in the Northeast. It is Pocono in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. It should be a good one, that 2.5-mile racetrack. We won't have a turn 4, so if I say turn 4 next week, get on me in the chat. Definitely going to be a fun one. Always love going to Pocono. Definitely one of the, one of the more unique racetracks that we go to, Bob.
Yeah, definitely, and technically my home track. I'm about an hour and a half away from both Pocono and Dover, so two of my favorite tracks coming up here to go to. Pocono, always a beautiful track and always a fun one to race at as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how these cars are going to be out there on that tricky triangle, and should be a good one next week.
That is for sure. Folks, before we go, want to give you a big shout out in the chat. Really do appreciate each and every one of you here on the channel. We hit 11 likes here tonight. That is absolutely awesome. As well as our friends over at SimTV. Make sure you go give them a like and a subscription as well. Great group of people who allow us to use our cameras. We're the only other broadcasting team able to use SimTV cameras, so we really do appreciate that opportunity. Great group of people as well. But I think that's about going to do it for us here in the Total Nonstop Racing League Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. Big shout out to Thornton Graphix, SimShots for sponsoring tonight's race. Make sure you check both of them out on Facebook. But folks, have a good night, stay safe, and we shall see ya.